Arise for a strong dose of love, joy, laughter, and information for healthy living.
Well, we're living in our purpose because God put us on this earth. Our purpose on this earth was to encourage.
As the pandemic continues to affect our lives, the impact on the youth's mental health has become evident in many of our homes today. Welcome, Yolanda Anderson, the CEO of Moving Forward Life Services. Welcome to the show, Yolanda.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
We, like I said before, just said in my intro, it's becoming real evident how the pandemic is really having an effect on the mental health of our young people. Why are we witnessing more youth having depressive and anxiety disorders during this pandemic?
Well, it's several reasons now because our kids at one point had a lot of freedom. And now that we've been closed in the homes, it's taking a toll on everyone, especially our children, because they're used to going to schools with their friends, seeing their teachers, and now that they're over a computer and staying in the house, it's closing in on them, and they're really feeling depressed, more so not able to spend time with their friends, not able to go out and explore like they used to, even just go outside and play. Now we're finding that kids are not going outside hardly at all now because of parents, the fear of getting COVID. So here we have depression and anxiety. And I mean, not just only with the children, but with the parents also. So now that kids are staying inside, they're trying to figure out exactly what's going on. And we have different age groups. Like the younger kids really don't understand what's going on. They're asking more questions like, why? We got to say why. They're trying to understand because of the changes that's going on and to be comfortable with them. But it's been very difficult for the kids. And so because they're not able to be with their friends, seeing their teachers, some kids really did enjoy going to school. Some kids are not, lunches, here again, we got another thing, kids are not getting lunch like they used to, eating properly. So we got a lot of elements that's going on, the reason why depression and anxiety is going on.
Right. You made a good point about the parents. So as parents, we have to make sure that we're not transferring our fears onto our children. During something like this, how can you prevent that from happening?
This is something they're very difficult. This is when we ask parents, don't look at TV as much because, the more negative you hear, the worse your anxiety, depression is going to come, more fear. Not only just with them, they're going to, expose it to their children. Because then this is when they don't get to go outside, which I mentioned before. Parents having so much anxiety and depression and fear added on. There's another element there. It's causing a lot of problems with the children and parents. What I ask parents do, like I say, not to look at TV as much, especially our news, because that's all they expose our children and to the parents negativity. So I would ask them to, if they can get with a family member, cousins, or someone that they know is not around, that haven't been able to let their kids still try to just see someone. If not many kids, not many children, just maybe one or two, it's just one sometimes will work. If the family member can get comfortable with maybe one family member or either a good friend, so the kids can still come around and be around someone. And this will lessen some of the anxiety that the parents can have and know that it's going to be okay and we're going to make it through this, because this won't stay like this. It's just for a moment.
I threw out those terms, depressive disorder and anxiety disorder, just assuming that everyone knows what that means. Mm-hmm. So exactly what is depressive disorder?
Well, depression is when you're not going to continue on doing your normal activities, which has happened, causing people to feel overwhelmed, feeling low in spirit, and feeling as if they can't make it or they can't continue on their daily routine, feeling like they're supposed to be closed in. And so this right here is making depression even more with more people. Some people already had it, but now it's going to cause more because people are now being closed in, can't go out, can't see friends, can't do any activities. So these are causing depression ways to come on our children and parents now. So depression is real. It's real. And these are some of the things that is going on right now. Where somebody wasn't depressed, this right here has called depression. Because
Right.
now you're in the house. You're not able
Right.
to go out. You're not able
And
to
no
explore.
socialization.
Yeah, so here we go. It's making people feel low. They feel like, oh, can I make it the next day? So
So how does anxiety come into play?
so here come the anxiety. The anxiety is when they feeling overwhelmed, feeling like they get ready to have panic attacks because of the fact that they're inside all the time. They feel like the walls are being closed in on them. So now a lot of anxiety, hearing so much negativity, it's like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. So all that together is just, it's not good. It's not
And
good.
it's so amazing because even especially with the anxiety part, I'm hearing talking to different people, just casual people whom I talk with on a daily basis and whom I have worked with, now are noticing different symptoms of anxiety and actually questioning, if they actually have it now.
Mhm.
Maybe you're wondering if you had always had it.
Well, we've all had some type of anxiety at some level.
Right.
The anxiety that we're talking about now is where now it's making you dysfunctional, where you can't function now. So
Right.
it's anxiety is not a bad thing because sometimes we get anxiety, we get overwhelmed anyway. That's just was our life. But now this type of anxiety it's almost like it's crippling you, where you feel like I can't breathe. I'm not able to function now, be able to go out and talk to people because you have an anxiety because now anxiety brings in fear. So it's just a whole nother, it just adds another factor to it. You got fear now because that's what anxiety is gonna come to, fear. So that's what's the anxiety we're talking about when it's crippling you, you're not able to function as you once was. We have anxiety. We like, oh my God, you have anxiety about different things. If you got to, do a speech in front of a group of people.
Right.
Some people have anxiety. That's a certain level of anxiety. But this anxiety is where it has overtaken you. And now
Right.
you're not able to function.
Right. And I think that's the key word, dysfunction,
Mm-hmm.
not able to function.
Mm-hmm.
You did mention, you mentioned age groups, and this is something that I have here. And this is what I want to kind of delve more into. They have for age 47 with the pandemic, children tend to express stress through regression and separation anxiety. 7 through 10 age group, children can pick up on stress and may become fearful of their own health. 10 through 13 children, ages 10 through 13, tend to struggle with academics. And 14 through 17, social distancing can have a devastating effect on them, resulting in an increase in depressive symptoms such as lack of motivation.
Right.
You mentioned, age group, and this is some information that I had. And when you are a parent and you have 4 children in the household, and so you have someone who is 5 in that age group. You have someone who is 8. Then you might have a 12-year-old. Then you're going to have a 17 or 16-year-old. How can you manage the emotion level of those different stages, and also be able to determine if this just one of those childhood stages that they're pretty much fluttering through? How can you tell the difference?
This is when the family has to come together and everyone has to talk and the parent has to know that everyone is at different levels. Now, this is when the parent has to be the parent at this point and know that, okay, this is my 5-year-old, so I have to deal with my 5-year-old a little different and explain some things a little different with my 5-year-old. And then same, so on and so on with each age group. And then you can come together as a family and begin to talk to the family and know that everyone is going through differently. So we're just going to respect everyone, how they're going to go through. And mom, and the same thing, say mom, dad, they got their anxiety or however they want to do it. Tell them we got our level, what we're going through as well, but we can make it through. So this is when they got to come together as a family and just encourage each other and know that this is just for a short period of time. This is not going to be forever. So just reassuring the family and talking to the family. This is when families just really need to talk together, especially when it's a broad age range group like that. You need to come together as a family so that we can understand where everyone is. And that's when the mother and the father has to come together and let everybody know that we have to be on the same page and respect everyone where we are. And just know that we're going to make it.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. Coming together and respecting, where we are, and having that open discussion where a teenager or your 5-year-old or 7-year-old can come to you and say, well, this is what's going on with me, and you pretty much in tune. So I think as adults, parents, we have to be aware of that this is real.
It's real.
And it is not only affecting adults, it's affecting the young people too. And so I guess this is just where we are right now.
This is where we are right now. We just
have to always keep that in consideration, that is it this that affecting my child's emotional well-being.
Yeah. So even with just getting the family together, I was just thinking about, if that younger person needed counseling. I mean, this is where we all it's open as a family. Say, I see that. I think you might need just a little bit more assistance. So as you're saying, the parents need to be in tune with their children and just be in tune with everyone in the family. So especially in these times, because it's hard on everyone. It's not easy for just one person. This is hard for everyone. This is hard for our world. So we just have to know and you just reassure the family, let them know that we are not alone. Everyone is in this, and everyone has to take, however it might be for your family, it might be different. For my family, it's different. So whatever it takes, just do it.
Right. So say we have a situation where the parents say, this is where we are now. We are experiencing these different issues in the household now, and a different low esteem, low motivation rather. What do they need to do?
I would advise if you're saying the whole family, bring the whole family to counseling. Just to get the parents' support so they can have another support system. So the parents can feel even better about trying to deal with them, getting coping skills, learning what is my next step with this particular child. So I think, counseling would be great for families if, like they're saying this, and that's what we're having. A lot of families that are coming in. That's something I am seeing more of an increase. More families are coming in, not just the parent bringing that child or this child.
Right.
More families are coming in and saying, okay, we got to learn how to deal with this, how to cope with it. What are some coping skills we need? What is the next step that we need to take with this particular child? So this is where I think families need to come together and say, okay, we need to go to counseling together So this has been something that I am seeing an increase. More families are coming to counseling.
Okay, so for our teens, our adolescents, they are probably feeling certain ways. How can we help them to be more in tune with, the different, because teens, they have mood changes all the time.
They do.
On a regular basis.
They do.
So how can we decipher, okay, this is different from a mood change to this, from just a normal mood change to something more critical? How can teens be more in tune to that?
So here we are. Since we're in such a critical time right now, at this point, it's as teams are not going through. They are going through emotion change, but not like how it was when we had all the freedom. Now that they see that something is more serious going on, it just seems attitudes have changed. I mean, they are not the same the way they once was. And I understand what you're saying, but it's different now.
Okay.
COVID has made some things different for the kids, because now they see for real, I can't go to school. For real, I can't see my friends. For real, I just have to talk to them through, my teachers through Zoom or wherever. I only can talk to them over the phone. So these emotions that they once normally had, they kind of have shifted to, oh my God, I really want to see my friends. It's not about, Mama, you don't love me. It's nothing like that. It's not them right there. It's on hold. I'm gonna say that. That's on hold. Them type of emotions. Right now, we're dealing with a crisis that they know that is real. So now that they're coming in, and we do have our children that's coming in, our adolescents that are coming in, what has more so affect them is that they're not able to see their friends. This is one of their biggest concerns, and not going to school. And the ones that are going to school, it's not the same. It's still, because everybody's not there. So since this is happening, it's just more on, we're dealing with more of, they're depressed because they're not able to see their friends. And they know that this is real, and they really want this to be over. So I think they have a grip of understanding what's going on, because they're truly feeling it, because they know they're not able to go to school. They're not able to really see their friends, and their parents is, really fearful right now. It's a lot of fear going on. So the different emotions that they once had, once we was in the freedom, it has really shifted. Really, it has shifted. It's more of, they're having more fear and depression and anxiety right now.
Okay, so it's fear and anxiety now. So this is what parents have to pretty much be aware of right now in the shift of their attention right now.
So, because I understand you said, because I understand once before we was in a stage where you said, my child is trying to get attention. They're not really, but we was at that stage one time. Right now, the kids are not doing that. They're not just trying to get attention. Now they want to know, when are we going to get out of this? So that's where we are. So they're right now, they're not really trying to grab attention, because parents are home all day. So, at this point, they're like, can I get away from mom and dad?
Can I get away from you, right?
It was a point where they wanted attention. They needed it from their parents, but now they got it full force now. And now they can't leave their room. So it's different now. That's why I'm saying it has shifted. It's not the same.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's not the same. It's not the
same. So moving forward, Yolanda, what do we need to do as a society, in our homes? What do we need to do moving forward?
Moving forward, first, let's not look at the news so much. I'm not saying don't look at the news, but let's not look at it to the degree where it's causing your family to have so much fear that they can't function. Go ahead.
Because I have to say, if you can hold your thoughts for 1 minute, I have to say that I myself, I had to stop. I think I went for like maybe, maybe a week or so, and I did not watch any news. I have my favorite detective stories that the regulars. I think I've seen every episode of Law and Order. I think I've seen all the episodes. But I had to just kind of like, filter some of those things out because that had become a part of my every conversation, my thoughts, and it, like you said, it had pretty much started to take over. And you're feeling a difference, and as far as, like you said, fear, the fear factor became very evident as far as. So I had to remove myself from that. And, and then you come back, you listen to enough of it. And if you see where they're repeating the same information over and over again. It's called, what is it called? Overkill. News.
It is an overkill.
It's overkill.
It is. That's exactly what it is. So I just really think that, like you said, we need to filter. We need to, you can look at the news, but like you were saying, over and over, they say the next news that come on, they're going to say the exact same thing. So if you keep getting negative in your spirit all the time, what do you think you're going to feed out? You're going to get negative. That's all you're going to get. So I mean, that's what you're going to do. So this is why I say moving forward, we just need to take a pause. We know that it's here. We know that it's real. And we just have to be careful. And so if we're going to be careful, like me, I just really like to go shopping early morning. I do that early morning when hardly no one is out. I get in and I get out. I told my kids, I said, they probably could give me, I probably win a record. When the first COVID came out, I got all my groceries so fast and got back to the house. So, I probably would have won some type of trophy. I said that was quick, but that's what I did. I go early morning, get in, get out, do what I need to do. But I still was able to function. I still went to work. We did our due diligence, wiped down everything. So we just have to do our due diligence. I mean, moving forward, we cannot stop life completely because that's not fair to you. It is not fair to the kids. Now, I always say, be cautious. Don't ever just get loose. But, wear your mask, just be careful when you go out. But don't let life stop completely.
Right.
Because you still got to live. You got to live. You got to keep living. And if you don't, because this is when depression and all these things come in, fear, anxiety, low self-esteem, all this going to come if we do not try to keep life as normal. So we must just keep going. Don't stop. Keep moving.
Just like with children in school, I think with the parents, it is so important that you continue to keep them on a routine.
Yes.
Keep them on a routine, even like when they're showing up for class. Make sure, even though they might not be on video, but make sure they go and get themselves together. Go, you don't have to be totally dressed. Get out the bed. Do not go to class while you're in bed.
I'm so glad you said that. Let me say that it's important. My son is homeschooled. He's been homeschooled since 4th grade.
Oh, wow.
I told him, you still have to get out of bed because you got to still function like you're going to school. Because if you don't, that's caused laziness and depression. Because you're in how are you sleeping? How you go to school in night clothes all day long? That's not good. Get up, brush your teeth, make your bed, eat your breakfast, and get in class. So these are the steps that your children still need to make because they are going back to school. So don't cause them to get in a position or in a routine that's not real because you are going back to school. The kids are going to get ready to go back to school. Once it's going to be hard for them to say, okay, now I got to start a new routine. No, keep the old routine. Get up, brush your teeth, just like you're going to class. So this is very important that parents know that. Don't take away the routine. Keep the routine. So that was important what you just said. So parents really need to do that.
Yeah. Well, Yolanda, I want to thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on. This was really helpful. And of course, you're going to be a regular. You know that, right?
I hope so. I don't mind. Thank you.
You know that, right? Thank you. And if anyone needs to, we're going to close out on this part. Making that first step, because when people thinking about, but like you said earlier, you do have more families now that are coming to grips with, that we need counseling. This is out of our hands. We cannot handle this. And that is a good thing, but you still have that group that's like still believing in the stigma of mental health and getting professional help and helping them move through the process. What is that first step? Like, what is that first step that they need to do to just go ahead and say, let's get help?
Call the office. Go ahead, that first step is just make that call. Make that call so that you can come in, introduce yourself to the counselors, just get the feel of it and see, and talk with that counselor just that one time. If they just come in that one time, make that call and come in, listen to the counselor, and they kind of get a rapport together, and just know that counselor is there to give them some type of coping skills that they need so they can move forward with their family, and give them some advice also, what they might need to deal with their children, or even with themselves, even people going back to work. That's another thing that's going on.
Yes.
People having fear going back to work because they're getting ready to be around more people. So this is another thing, that's stress related work that they have. This is something now just work stress related, but just within themselves having stress going back to work. So this is some things that the counselors can do in that first step. Just make that call. Make that call.
Okay. So Yolanda Anderson, CEO of Moving Forward Life Services. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.